Huge claps. All right. As a member of this, thank you very much. So nice of you, my lord. We are very, very happy. We are all proud of you. Please. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the bar, sir. Welcome to the bar.
Thanks a lot. Oh, you
edition of my book.
This must be the second edition.
No, third edition.
Okay. I was there when he wrote the first edition. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Please, please. Please visit. Please visit. Friends, we are all, this is a very proud moment Friday group. The program is like this. Yeah, please. Yeah. First, for a minute, death condolences for those who are bereaved families, and particularly Rupendra Singh Suri and prominent members of the bar and other things. And then our something about Friday group. Then speaker's topic. Further, finally, felicitation and vote of thanks. This is our. Then I request all of you for a minute. Will give our condolence to our beloved bereaved families who are all very close to our hearts from bar, and particularly Rupendra Suri always is with us in every meeting. It's a great loss for her. Just for a minute, we'll give it. Yes. My lords, I want to say a few words about our Friday group, even though earlier also I addressed our Friday group. Friend, this is 145th Friday group meeting. We started in 2015, July 10. When we last time in 2020, March 6, that was the last meeting. That's 144 one. Mr. Seshagiri was addressed us. After that, because of pandemic, we couldn't address any meeting. That time, interestingly, only 1,44,000 viewers, 1,500 something like subscribers. As on today, 7,30,000 viewers. The pandemic fully benefited. One way we lot of loss. One way Friday group is a lot of beneficiary because of viewers jumped into more than 5 lakhs. The subscribers are 18,000. 18,000. It's not some Tadka song or something like academic group. That's what I mean. If something comes, now I'm fully satisfied. I'm happy. People like Narasimha and Karpaka Vinayagam and other Bhattacharyas, Markandeya particularly. So these are all forces and helping me, and this thing we are achieving. This is a bunch. And in 100th, Mr. Uday U. Lalit addressed. Narasimha also one of the speaker. It's a wonderful session. It's an ISIL. I was very much impressed with Uday U. Lalit and at the 100th one at Summit. So now the topic is, today's topic is Mr. Hon'ble Judge, Mr. Narasimha. He is one of our beloved member and elevated to bar, directly from the bar. So that's a proud moment, Justice Narasimha. Really, it's a great honor for all of us. That's what one reason, and beginning itself we have, and you accepted, even though so much busy schedule, I know that. So that the topic is my experience as an advocate and a judge. That's bar and bench. That is the topic. It's Narasimha. Now you can initiate, Justice Narasimha. Please, you can initiate your this thing. Yeah, please, party. आइए आगे आइए ना. It's totally 45 to 1 hour maximum, minimum 45 minutes, that is this thing. So I request Justice Narasimha will speak on this topic.
Yes.
Then rest will follow automatically. That's
Want me to put it in that?
yeah.
I'll start by thanking Sheshu for inviting me here. And I must confess that I was waiting for being called. Very, very honestly. Because this is where I belong. You all know that. In 89 when I came here, at that time Pathak was the Chief Justice and immediately Venkatramaya took over. 3 or 4 things. This is not a speech today. I am just sharing my thoughts last few years that I have spent here. Couple of things, which I think made me learn so many things. First and foremostly, this I would call the Supreme Court premises. I think the very third day, second or third day I came to Supreme Court, I was sitting here. The very third day onwards. And from then on, my journey was in front of every one of you. Some might have come little later. Ranjit Bhai is here. This is a place which is actually a karma bhumi kind of a thing. Because this is the place where I have learnt, I have got gurus, I have learnt so much from my friends. I have also learnt what not to learn from many, not in a negative way, in a very positive way. And in these corridors, my story is what I picked up from the time I came here. Every bit of it enriched me. And my teachers were actually those under whom I worked and those who I had silently watched without even meeting them, without even interacting with them. And it's not merely the academic part of it or the professional part of it. The best part of it is, this is a place where I got my life lessons. Something like basic minimum courtesies. I just picked up from a lawyer who was walking fast for a matter which was reaching in court 8. This was 91 or so. And as he was going fast in this very corridor, a junior just wished him good morning, sir. And I had briefed him. But then that gentleman stopped and then walked back and crossed the other side of the corridor and then shook hand and said, good morning, how are you? And then walked away. I was waiting. I said, why is he doing like this? I mean, what is the need? I thought, what's wrong with him? But it didn't take much time for me to realize there's something wrong with us, with me rather. We are so fast trying to catch up with things. We are all here sitting together. These basic small things we miss out many a times. And this is again a place which has taught me something like that, not merely professions. Another thing, we had beautiful, elegant councils here. So I would silently watch in my early days and try to emulate them. And I learnt that, what you are given is something very inherent, and what you seek to achieve is not complete identity of somebody else, what he has. So you have to know your limitations. You will have to know where you can go, how far you can reach. I've seen lawyers who brilliantly performed and then tried to improve myself. All of you must be doing the same thing. I have seen also lawyers who had the greatest ability of brevity, which is the biggest asset the Supreme Court has. After putting in about 1.5 or 2-3 years, I was asked to appear before a civil court. And in the usual SLP mode, I formulated the point, completed it. The judge was looking at me. I thought I was done. But then the training that we get here is not the one that we should exhibit somewhere else. But what gives you here is that ability to concise, make it precise, put it in the most best capsulated form and make it attractive. These are the traits that over a period you will acquire only from this place. Watch people doing it, watch people appear. And it was a continuous process for me. And when I came, I was with myself and Murli were also here, both of us were working. We just applied ourselves and then we started working without looking here and there. That is one great part about our bar, I should say that. This is a place where you will learn not only the academic qualities, professional qualities, but also the friends that you acquire here. The experience that you gained here is one of the biggest factors which helped me. Second is that some very beautiful thing about our bar is this. I don't think there is any parallel to this bar anywhere in the world. Not only that, our bar is a mini India. You all know about it. From every corner of this country, we flock here. We have friends from Kerala, we have friends from Chhattisgarh, Haryana, where not. From all over we are here. Assam, of course. Sunil is raising his hand. All over we are here. And it's a very unique thing, right? We don't have a parallel to this anywhere in the country. Not only that, we all come from different parts of the country. We mingle with each other. It has its own great advantages in the sense that somebody calls and asks, Tripura mein kuch problem hai bhai. So then you will think, who is one of our friend in Tripura? And then call him that. That way, it's like a parliament in a way. You have everybody here. The whole country is represented here. And second interesting part of it is that we also have at the same time the chance of being briefed from any part of the country, which normally doesn't happen if you're either in Bombay or Chennai. So much so that we have an opportunity of learning laws and local laws of the states. Like after coming here only, I got to know what is a Tika tenancy is. If I were in Hyderabad, I would not have known. Like that, there is yet another advantage that you get by the enormous diversity that is existing here, which is unparalleled. It is unparalleled also, I think, for the reason because of the diversity that we have in our country. Every state has its own diversity. And from every state, we all come over and we all stay here. We have our own islands here within people, and our best friends are from other states. And adding to this diversity and composition, we have our judges also coming from various backgrounds and from various other states. The composition is also very, very different. Another feature which just occurred to me, a classic example is sitting right in front of us, Justice Karpaka Vinayakam. We have the sprinkling of retired judges coming in here, right? All of us would have seen it. From every high court we have. It's a very extraordinary thing. These are people who have great experience, who have worked as high court judges. And then life gets normalized as they had commenced when they had got enrolled. And here, having come here, you will have to do the same wakalat. Please a lawyer, please a judge. This is another a very unique thing which I really enjoy, and I cherish this fact that I have worked in this court, in the Supreme Court Bar Association with all the members here, and that's one of the greatest contributors and actually one of the great factors for me to love this institution. Another thing is also very important so far as our bar is concerned. There's one feature, I think. See, quite a few of them, it's not I would put it like this, it's not an elite bar. We all come from a particular strata. All of us are at one stage coming in the Supreme Court. All of us are striving to become something, do better. So that positions from which we have all come has given us a great amount of understanding of the nation. And that is again a factor which we all carry and contribute in our submissions, where we understand our people, we will understand our background, and that is the reason perhaps we all mix so easily well, and that triggered some kind of a great amount of fraternity amongst us. That's yet another beauty which is not seen, and that is perhaps one of the reasons why in this court you will see very little of professional jealousy. It's a very, very beautiful factor. You know, why I'm saying this is that unless you identify as what you are, unless you know your strengths, unless you know your qualities, you won't really appreciate it. I was reflecting since last 2-3 days about why is it that this is a very unique bar. This is one of the reasons which I think is contributed to that, and all of you would have realized that if somebody performs well in a court, you will immediately have one of us walking up and saying you did a good job. You are very liberal in that, and it's a beautiful quality. It's a very great character amongst us. We must recognize and inculcate and continue that forward. That is a very, very important thing. So I just noted something so that I won't forget sharing it with you, because it's not a speech or a lecture. This is a place where Ranjit Bhai will agree with me. There is a great chance and capability for all of us to succeed on merit. Right? From nowhere we have come, and there is always a possibility of going anywhere. One small example, myself, right? If at all going to the other side is a big thing in life, it's all right, let it be. But what I am saying is that it's there, a possibility existing in any one of us practicing in this court, because of the reason that irrespective of wherever you are, from where you have come, you do well, you perform well, you show your character, you show the strength of your character, there is a place for us, place for all the youngsters here in this court. That's the great part of this court, and I think the things are going to be even better than what it were during my time. And the number of law colleges that have opened, and then the new knowledge system that has come in, and then the professional way in which our students are being trained in law colleges, coming excellent talent coming in. I think the time, it's not as if so many students are coming. When you compare it, I was just discussing with my colleagues that compare it with number of cases that are pending all over. Even this number of students who are coming is still insufficient. Exactly like the doctors, that problem that we have. 22 years man is in jail. Matter is pending here till last 12 years. And what do? There is no system that is working. We all need to come together and then work to resolve those pendencies. So therefore the number of students that are coming in, new lawyers who are getting enrolled, is good enough, and we need to tackle that. Unless we tackle, the institution will become irrelevant for us. Another very important thing I just wanted to discuss with you is about the profession itself, which I spoke to you about. You know what I feel is the biggest thing about our profession? I think it's our independence. It's as high and as big as independence of judiciary. It's integrally connected to that. There is again no parallel to this profession. There is again no parallel to this profession when it comes to the assertion of the individual self. Whatever we think is the right thing, go bang before the court and then say it. With courtesy, of course. That independence of the profession is the only thing that we must always, at any point of time, at every point of time, protect. How does it get in any way affected? I think ideologically. You can't be wedded to an ideology and move slightly away from truth, whatever may be the ideology, philosophy, or more importantly, which I want to flag, is allegiance to a parties also, political parties or governments, whatever it may be. There is nothing higher than truth. There is absolutely nothing higher than the truth. And first obligation I always felt of any profession to carry it forward, I think, is that of the lawyer. I think that's the most important thing so far as the profession is concerned, and all of us must have that as the most important thing. It's not to preach, but I'm to share. I'm only sharing with you the best part of our profession being that. I'll conclude with this. Another very important thing. As a lawyer, there's a great amount of freedom, right? Great amount of freedom. Don't smile because I'm going to say something else. I'm going to say something else. That is, we think, I'm saying we, I have not got out of it yet. Lawyers think that you prepare well, you thoroughly marshal the facts, read the law, go and deliver. After you finish your submission, lawyer's duty is over. There's nothing more, you don't need to look back. In a way it's true, because that gives you that freedom, and it should give you great amount of creativity. I missed that point which I should have told you when I was telling about the important thing about lawyering is independence. Another aspect of it is the creativity. Creativity, I'll come back to this part of it. Creativity is for the reason that we are people from composite cultures, composite places. We carry different experiences. And that is what enables us to bring in creativity. And large amount of that factor has contributed to the development of law in the Supreme Court. And we must retain that. And how do we retain it? Because we should not forget the originality which made us, our language, our culture, our background. The freedom movement, we are the second, third generation. Now we would have lost it, but we can't lose it. These are the things which are embedded in us. And we can't forget that. That creativity is another most important factor in a lawyer's life. Now coming back to the freedom that a lawyer enjoys, it is very true that you have the freedom, you have the creativity, you come, deliver and go. But then I realized that we leave the judges with great amount of burden if we don't perform that job. And then we realize how much the court also depends on the lawyers. That's why when we say adversarial litigation, the simple basic thing about this concept of adversarial litigation is simply this, that it is a mechanism of knowing the truth. That's all, nothing more. It's a mechanism of knowing the truth. There is no other mechanism better than this as the human, as the society has developed till now. Because earlier we only had kings to decide with the aid of assistants, with the ministers. But this is a methodology where truth needs to be found, and the method by which it is to be found is this. Two competing versions are placed, and judge picks up that version which he thinks is closest to truth, nothing more. If you know that, we all will immediately realize that the role a lawyer performs is no different from that of a judge at all, at any point of time. But then professionalism makes you focus on what you are actually doing. You take up a case, you do your job and leave it at that. This is the division of labor. So much so you lose that connectivity with what we are ultimately working towards. So we many a time lose that connection, that the case that I am arguing before a judge is for the purpose of the society getting to know what the truth is. But we just finish our job and go. That disconnect which has happened because of professionalism or division of labor should not be lost. If we are constantly reminded of that, then we will know what is the role that we are playing all the time. And therefore, the contribution will be there towards actual fulfillment of that. So, a judge's decision, I am just restating what I have just now said, is dependent so much on us, so much on you, whatever. That role should make all of us remember that we are integrally connected to this institution, and we must fulfill that. Beyond that, my life is a open book in this court, in this bar, and I am really speaking so happy that I took that decision to shift to Delhi when my father gave me 750 rupees and said, go ahead, and I took that chance. He was a judge. I remember he said, take this 5 and go. So he was a Sanskrit scholar. So he said, what 5? He says, Dharmam, you all understand that. I don't need to translate. Dharmam, righteous conduct. Shrutam is scientific temperament. Tapo is concentration. Diksha is that you take up and you will have to finish it. And Vyavasaya, which is exertion or the effort that you need to put. You take this 5, doka nahi hoga. तो हमने वो 5 लेकर आया, तो ठीक है. I think I was happy to have come to Supreme Court and worked in this bar, and the friends that I have gained are those who have taught me without telling me. I have learnt so much from somebody like Sheshu, my dearest friend, and so many of my juniors, they don't know what I have learnt. I have never shared with them. Maybe sometime I will do. I picked up from many of them, and it was a continuous process, and it was a very pleasurable thing. And when I was asked to speak when I took over as a judge, my first word was, another aspect I will share with you. I said I thoroughly enjoyed my life as a lawyer, and I said that I hope I'll enjoy my life as a judge too, which perhaps yet to come anymore. I'll conclude with this. One other thing, with the little experience that I have gained, my ideas might change. Don't hold me back to what I am saying today. As a lawyer, what drives us is ourself. You want to become a good lawyer to start with. You want to be successful. You want to be popular. I want to be, let me use it. I want to be popular. I want to make good money, good house, good car. Whatever we do, it is the self which propels us. It's a very strong magnet. It is the self which propels us all the time. And you reach a particular stage, and then you might realize that, is this all? Is there something more to fulfill us? That is perhaps a time when you have attained a particular stage. But then when you move on to become a judge, a very important thing, I'm telling out of my experience, when you move on to become a judge, it's a very different thing. You know, the self must disappear there, and your identity must merge with the identity of the institution. That is what I think the role of a judge who would disappear, if I may use that expression, the individual or a self of a lawyer, once he becomes a judge, must disappear, and his identity must be only that of the Supreme Court. Only then there will be no other focus in a judge's life than the fulfillment of the institutional interests. With this, I'll conclude.
Friends, let us give a standing ovation to our beloved friend, a very distant very well. It's a very simple and core of our heart. Please now felicitation starts. Please come this way.